Okay, welcome to this yin yoga practice in this cozy attic here that I have transformed as a small studio. So make sure you have some props available today, extra blankets, blocks. We'll do a sequence that targets mainly the hips. And we'll start with a diamond shape. If you find it hard to have your hips forward and you have a rounded back, then sit on top of something. Another option is for you to prop your forehead if you need to. And you can also choose to prop your thighs. Whatever works for you to feel as comfortable as you can. So take a few moments to see what kind of support you need in the pose, and then stay still. Here in our yin yoga practice, we're not looking for maximum stretch. When you move into the pose, when you want to feel your first edge, and make that commitment to stay still unless you feel the body wants to go deeper, and let it go forward. Or if you actually feel physical pain, sharp tingling pain, in which case you'll back off. There are areas we need to be mindful of, and those are the knees and the lower back here in the pose. So move if you absolutely need to, and then find a new edge, or perhaps come out completely. If you're still there, let the shoulders soften, let the thighs feel heavier. Basically release as much muscular tension as you can. Breath and focus on the sensation, letting it come to the foreground of your attention, without getting attached to the story that it will tell you. But instead, try to be with the actual physical experience of it. And then see if there is new levels of openness that perhaps you can achieve by softening around that tension instead of holding tight and contracting, which is our usual pattern in the face of adversity, in the face of any discomfort. So be mindful of any contraction in the mind as well, any hardening of the mind. And then slowly, softly start to release the pose. Walk yourself up. You can help your legs come together. You can stay sitting, feeling the sensation. Or you might need a bigger release, in which case let the knees fall one side to the other. And then pause before moving on to the next posture. So like I said, we're working with the hips. Here you can open your legs widely. And if you need to find support for underneath, you may place a block, a cushion, a blanket underneath the knees, maybe sitting on something as well. And then release the upper body down. Let it soften and feel heavy. Release the shoulders. You may find support for your head as an option. Sometimes it's not, as for some necks, the support may actually create tension, as it's not allowing the neck to completely release and relax. So in essence, again, find the place that serves your body, that serves where you are at today. It may take a few moments to find that place, but once you do, commit to being still. And notice when the first attempt to change or fix something arises. Perhaps let there be a little gap before you actually move. Find that little space, that pause between your need to move and your actual action. And if there needs to be a change, then of course do that. Here in the pose, you can let the feet fall to the side, in or out, depending on what feels comfortable for you. And notice again just what's happening within your body, within your mind, in any given moment, without trying to control, to judge, or to pull away. Know that whatever physical or emotional pain arises, our first natural reflex is to resist. And that happens by contracting the muscle or by contracting the mind. Often a story emerges and we tend then to lose touch with the actual experience. So become aware of that, if that's happening. And let yourself soften through the body, through the mind, and with the breath. Always keep returning to your breath, embracing with gratefulness and great care whatever is arising for you. And slowly come out, rolling the spine up. We'll release the pose by coming onto our backs. Let the feet fall open to the side. Allow the back, the arms and hands to be comfortable. And let the weight of the body drop onto the mat, onto the floor. When you're ready, we'll move on to the next pose. You can step your feet on the mat, roll the knees from side to side before coming into a twist. So bring the legs together in the belly, and it's cross the right leg over the left above the knee, and then dropping the legs down over to the left side. You can bring support under the legs if you need to, or even choose to uncross the legs if that other version is not working. Crossing the legs will bring more stimulation for the hips. So see whatever works for you. Find the expression of the twist that actually works for you. And then let yourself be still. You can take soft breaths into the belly. Feel the belly come out as you inhale. Let it, feel it come back down and inside as you exhale. Make sure the upper body and the shoulders are happy as well. So release any tension wherever you can find tension. One of the aspects of the Yin Yoga practice is the mindfulness that we bring to it, or that we cultivate as we bring the body into these different shapes. So here, allow yourself to be curious and open, asking yourself the question, what am I feeling right now? Where am I feeling it? Magic happens here in these moments of awareness, as there is a clear seeing that arises in our minds when we're not tampering with our experience. And that happens when we stay attentive, when our presence to ourselves is unconditional, when we are fully and utterly open, willing to be with whatever is arising. That is the secret. Slowly come to release this side. Let's get into the twist on the other side. So legs in whenever you're ready. Let's cross the left leg over the right. Let the legs fall to the right side. The head is relaxed. You can bring your arms above your head, hands crossed or uncrossed underneath the head. Find the support that works for you. And when you're ready, go back to this place where you can become quiet, silent, at peace. As important as it is to turn your attention to the experience, there is a second part to that equation that matters just as much. And it is to relate to whatever is arising in a very tender and gentle way. We need to use a lot of care and compassion towards ourselves first and foremost, and then toward other people. So if restlessness, for example, is arising, then this is what you stay with. If it is excitement or boredom, then you try and stay with that feeling. When we find ourselves judging, then we stay with that. We don't judge the judging. The very nature of our awareness is to know what's happening already inside. And the nature of our heart is to be caring and loving. So with the practice of Yin Yoga, we are returning to who we intrinsically are. We're returning to the self. Simple, a benevolent presence. Time to come out again. Slowly unravel. Allow yourselves to stay in Shavasana on your backs a few moments. Breathe in and out. Then you can hug the knees in and get momentum to rock yourself up whenever you're ready. And let's get to the front of the mat into swan pose, pigeon pose in Hatha Yoga. Let's start with the right leg, the right knee in front first, in between the hands. Allow the left leg to straighten out behind you. Lengthen the leg. And you can use some props if you need. Prop your right hip up. And then allow the upper body to fall down. Come down to the mat. And find your still point. Allow yourselves to relate to the felt sense of each moment. This curiosity, open mind, curious mind. What am I feeling right now? Where am I feeling it? Every time you find yourself lost in thought, following a storyline, whatever it is, whenever you notice that, then that's your cue that you're actually being present again. That you are back to experiencing and living life. You can also notice how it's not often the case. Notice how we're trying to control all things, the levels of pain and joy that we're willing to experience. Notice the habits of resisting, judging, grasping onto emotions, to thoughts, for people? Can you notice the stories that accompany our experiences, trying to classify them, compare them? And can you simply let go? Because we do have a choice. Notice that you have a choice. Can you let those stories go? Starting maybe by softening through the muscle. Allow the body to soften completely. Notice the contraction and let go. Keep noticing the impulses to do something, to change something. And question whether it's actually valid and absolutely necessary, or is it just another distraction from feeling what's arising? Slowly, let's come out of the pose. And to release it, either move into a downward dog or perhaps just a child's pose. When you're ready, come up and set yourself up for the other side with appropriate props. Here we're asked to learn discernment. Where is the line between minor discomfort and actual pain? Allow yourself to be present. Allow the breath to be your home base, what you return to. This place of presence. You'll notice that when our mind is more active, it's useful to use the breath as an anchor. And when the mind feels more serene and calm, we can then widen the focus, allowing other aspects of the moment to also come to the foreground of our experience. So then we develop the capacity to recognize when thoughts are happening without getting lost in the storyline. It's not so important what particular sensations or thoughts or emotions are arising. What matters is our willingness to be still and pay attention to our experience as it is. So here again, we're asked to notice when we're pulling away, when we're hardening, and then try and find ways to stay present and to soften the body, to soften the heart, and soften the mind. Slowly come out. Allow the whole body to rest flat on the floor, on our backs. Feel the body sinking in and feel the breath moving freely. When you're ready, we can get into the last pose, Happy Baby. Bring the legs in. Allow the arms to come inside and grab whatever is possible for you. Around the leg, up to the feet. You can also place something under the lower back and the sacrum if you need. Find the pose that works for you. Whenever you've found that pose, then relax into it. Relax the upper body, the shoulders as well. Although there is some action happening there in the upper body, try to have this yin quality of openness and softness. Soften your mind, soften the body into the pose. You can bring your awareness in the breath, in the lower back, in the hip area. And stay with the intention of softening. Soften the face and jaws. They are unclenched. Tongue relaxed inside the mouth. Just stay here a few more breaths. When you're ready, slowly release the legs down. You can bring the legs closer together. Take a few breaths here. And when you're ready, feet on the floor, hip width apart. Allow the knees to come in and touch. You can bring your hands in the lower belly. And whenever you feel like it, Bring the body into Shavasana for final relaxation. Let your muscles soften. Let the weight of the body drop onto the mat, allowing body and mind to relax completely. Allow yourself to be filled with a sense of falling, but know and feel that you are also being held, nurtured, and loved. Thank you very much for practicing. Stay here as long as you can, as you need. May I see the truth. May I speak the truth. May I feel it